Hello everyone, welcome you all back to science class. In continuation to what we have studied in our previous class, in today's class we are going to learn about the next measurement, that is capacity. Now look into this picture here. Here you can see different types of containers. Now as you can see, all these containers are filled with a liquid. Now, do you know what is the amount of liquid that each of this container can hold? Or is the amount of liquid that is there in this first container, is it the same as that in this small container? In order to know that, we need to understand what is capacity. Capacity is the amount or the quantity of a liquid that a vessel can hold. So here, as you can see, we see different vessels or containers with different capacity. This first container that you see, since this is a big container, it can hold or it can contain more amount of liquid in it. While this small container, that is the last one here, it contains only a very less quantity of liquid in it. So we say that the capacity of this first container is more compared to the capacity of this last container. This is because the quantity of liquid that this container can hold is more compared to the quantity of liquid that this small container can hold. So capacity is the quantity of a liquid that a vessel can hold. Generally, capacity is measured either in liters or in milliliters. Liter is generally represented by this capital letter L, while milliliters are generally represented by writing a small letter m followed by a capital letter L. So liters or milliliters, these are the standard units of measuring capacity. Large amounts of liquid or large quantities are measured in liters or in kiloliters, while small amounts of liquid or small quantities are measured in milliliters. So liters or kiloliters, they are used to measure large quantities of liquid, while milliliter is the standard unit that we use in order to measure small quantity of liquid. Like how we have studied in the previous cases, there is a relationship between liters, kiloliters and also milliliters. So as you see here, 1 kiloliter is equal to 1000 liters, which means 1000 liters put together will give us 1 kiloliter. 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliters, which means 1000 milliliters put together will give us 1 liter. So this is the relationship between kiloliter, liter and milliliter. Now, as you look into this picture, we see different containers with different amounts of liquid in it. Now, how do we know what is the amount or the quantity of liquid that is present in each of this container? In order to know that, we need to measure capacity. How do we measure capacity? Capacity is generally measured with the help of measuring cylinders, as you see here, or with the help of measuring vessels. So as you can see, this is a measuring cylinder. Now when you look into each of these containers, measuring vessels, we can see that there are different markings on each of these containers. Now this marking will help us to know the amount or the quantity of liquid that is present in that container. So as you can see here, this container has a marking of 500 milliliters, which means this container can hold up to 500 milliliters of liquid. Or in other words, we say that the capacity of this container or this measuring cylinder is 500 milliliters. While on the other hand, here you can see there is a marking of 1000 milliliters on this measuring vessel. So here this is 1000 milliliters, which means that this container can hold up to 1000 milliliters of liquid. Or in other words, we say that the capacity of this vessel is 1000 milliliters. Now look into this picture here. Here we see that water is taken in this measuring vessel. Now here you can see that the mark on this vessel is pointing to the mark of this water here. Now this mark that is pointed here, that is between 350 and 400. Now this is the amount or the quantity of liquid that is present in this vessel now. So we can say that 375, that is between 350 and 400. So approximately 375 milliliter is the amount of liquid that is present in this container here. So measuring cylinders or measuring vessels are used to measure capacity of liquid. We have now learned how do we measure capacity. So we will now see about the measurement time. In the olden times, time was measured with the help of sand clock, sundials, or even with the help of clocks. But currently we use clocks and watches to measure time. Time is generally measured with the help of units like seconds, minutes, and hours. Now, as you see here in this picture, here we have a clock which measures time. We also have a watch which measures time. But here in this watch, we can see that time is measured in numbers. So such watches or such clocks that measure time in numbers, they are called as digital watches or digital clocks. But as you can see here, there are clocks that have 3 hands on it. Now such clocks that measure with the 3 hands, they have a hour hand, a second hand, and a minute hand. As you can see here, the shortest hand in a clock is known as the hour hand because it is the hand that points towards the hour. While the longest hand in a clock is known as the minute hand. While this thin hand, it reads the seconds, and this thin hand is otherwise known as the seconds hand. Same like all other measurements, there is a relationship between minute, hours, seconds, and a day. We will now see what is the relation between a day, hour, minute, and second. Remember that 1 day is equal to 24 hours, which means in a day we have 24 hours. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes, which means in 1 hour of time we have 60 minutes. And 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, which means in 1 minute of time there are 60 seconds. Now look into this clock here carefully. Here we have a hour hand, that is the smallest hand or short hand. Then this long hand called as the minute hand, and this thin hand known as the seconds hand. Now for this hour hand to complete 1 full round and reach again at the same point, it takes 12 hours. For example, now as you see, this hour hand is pointing towards 2. Now for this hour hand to move slowly and then complete 1 full round and reach again at 2, this hour hand takes 12 hours. While in the case of minute hand, now the minute hand is at pointing towards the point or the mark in the clock 10. So for this minute hand to complete 1 full round, it takes 60 minutes, which is equal to 1 hour. So for this minute hand moves and it completes 1 full round and reach again at 10. It takes 1 hour, which is equal to 60 minutes. While in the case of this seconds hand that you can see, now it is pointing towards 9. Now for this seconds hand to move slowly and then reach again at this point 9, it takes 1 minute, which is equal to 60 seconds. So for this seconds hand, it moves slowly and then it completes one full round in 60 seconds or 1 minute of time. So that is how the hour hand, the minute hand and the seconds hand of the clock moves.